Hey guys, it's Barratt with the Gimpy Camper. Thanks for tuning in this week. This week we're going to talk about some Tireminder tips and tricks, some things to help you fix the dreaded issues of like the sensors not picking up or something like that. So, you know, we have this issue about once a year. It's usually solved with doing what you're supposed to do in replacing the battery and the O-ring once a year. But occasionally we have a few more issues that we have to go through. And so I thought, well, we'll take the time today and we'll show you what we've done to correct our issues. I think that I got it all figured out now, and so I'll share that with you right after this. So with my camper, I think I've been having a little bit of interference. My halo view's not been picking up quite as clear as it was with my BT7 camera. And I think a lot of it's actually more my cellular router and my blink cameras and all the wireless signals that those throw out. But, you know, in any case, I was getting a lot of connection issues, and so I needed to do something. So I went with the first thing that we usually do, and I replaced the battery and the O-rings. Now, in your Tireminder kit that they send you with your Tireminder, you're going to have some extra batteries, and you're going to have some O-rings. Okay? So once a year, they say you need to replace these. Now, I also have some spare sensors in here, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So you take the sensor, and it can be the flow-through sensor, it can be the regular sensor, no big deal. But take the plastic cap off, okay? And then you have the tab here. This one doesn't have a battery in it because it was, you know, set up for storage. And you have the O-ring that fits right down around the base here. Now with that, what you want to do, I would prefer to use a pick. I don't have one with me. I'm going to carefully use this utility knife. You could technically cut the O-ring. It doesn't matter because you're not going to use it again. You're going to get in behind it and lift it off and remove the O-ring. Okay, so I just took it off, and then you're going to get in here to your little plastic bag that was in your Tireminder kit. You can also get O-rings, I'm sure, at like the local hardware store if you don't have the Tireminder ones. I believe with your purchase they have a program that you can join to get replacement O-rings and batteries. But then you take your new O-ring and you just put it back. This one's not wanting to go down on there. Put it all the way down where it sits at the base there. Okay, O-ring's done. That problem's done. Now you got to do this for every one of your sensors though. Then you take a battery. You're going to put that in the tab here, but I'm going to show you something first. So a lot of people, when they have problems with these batteries connecting, it's because this tab's loose and it's not holding good connection. So before you put your battery in, you'll push down on that a little bit. Just kind of squeeze it in. And then this has a plus side on the top, so you want the plus side of the battery on that side as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to put it in there, and then you got the battery replaced. And you also did the extra step of making sure that the battery is getting good connection. Then you put this back on, finger tight. You want a little bit like of an oomph there, but not a whole lot, because it's just a plastic cap. It's not going to hold a whole lot. Now I will say, Tireminder sent out a thing where somebody was in a hurricane last year, and their trailer tires were underwater for like a week. And apparently these O-rings did the job and kept the water out because their Tireminder system still worked after the sensors were submerged in water for like a week, which is amazing if you think about it. Now, I will say the other issue that we had, because that didn't fix our problem, none of that fixed our problem, and we were using our Tireminder 88C, and it still kept like losing signal. And I think a lot of it is more the interference that we talked about. Now, for a long time, my repeater has been mounted on the tongue of my trailer in more of a flat position with the antennas pointing toward the truck. Now apparently that's not the preferred way to do this. You want it pointing right down against the road, kind of under the camper, and those signals kind of reflect and bounce off the road and back to the truck. That's what I'm told anyway. That's kind of what I oversaw. And so I did this. I took off my repeater the Rhino repeater from the Kingpin, and I moved it to one of the landing jacks. It's at the very top of the landing jack, and it's pointed straight down. And I had to rewire the power to a 12-volt distribution center that I have. And after I did that, I hadn't had not the first lost connection with the truck. So that's working well for us. Hopefully that'll solve any of the problems that you have with losing connection. The only other issue that I've had that I know a lot of people do is, like, if it's really hot and you go into the rain, that cools down real quick, and that can cause like some sensor issues where it starts sending off alarms. But a lot of times not a thing. But after my last experience where I ignored what it was trying to tell me and then I had a blowout, I would strongly suggest to kind of look over everything really well before you decide to ignore it, have a blowout like I did. And the only other thing that it's ever gave me an alarm about is we were in the Tetons one time, and before we left the Tetons, I aired all the tires up to the appropriate PSI, and as we came down, which when we came down we didn't go through the pass, so it's more gradual, but that afternoon it started alarming because of high pressure, because that pressure that was in the tire built up as you're coming down in elevation. And so that's something else, like I wouldn't make sure they were real full if I was at the top of the mountain and I was coming down. But didn't have any issues, but I did let some air out just to be on the safe side. But hadn't had any other issues that none of this stuff that I'm showing you today hadn't fixed. And I've been using Tireminder for probably 5 years now, and so I'm happy with it. I'm happy with their products. We are an affiliate for them, and we'll share a link down below. That link only works for a couple of months. Like I say, I don't hesitate to endorse their products. I think that they're quality products. They got good customer service, and I mean, they have given me stuff to review for an honest review that I've not paid anything for out of pocket. But I try to be as honest as I can about that stuff, and I think it's a quality product, or I wouldn't continue to be pushing it.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.